Welcome to the lecture series named after Dr. Ahmad Zahir as Dr. Ahmad Zahir Memorial Lecture Series. Today's topic of discussion is Great Pacific Garbage Patch by Dr. Ashfaque Khan, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, Maulana Azad College of Arts, Science and Commerce, Aurangabad. Now I request him to deliver the lecture.
Thank you, sir. I welcome all the participants for this lecture series, Dr. Ahmad Zahir lecture series. Respected Principal, Dr. Mazhar Ahmad Farooqi, sir. IQAC Coordinator, Dr. Mrs. Aditi Bhattacharya, Madam. CP Coordinator, Professor Arif Pathan, sir. Also, he is Director, Dr. Rafiq Zakaria, Center for Higher Learning and Advanced Research. Dr. Rafiuddin Nasir, sir, Head Department of Botany, Maulana Azad College of Arts, Science and Commerce. And I also welcome Imtiaz Zahid, sir, from Pune College. With due permission from the principal, I would like to start my lecture, which is based on the very burning topic of environment pollution, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Now, to go with the initial one of the biggest threats to our oceans is man-made pollution. Now, you know that discarded plastics and other residential waste discharged from pesticides and industrial chemicals eventually find their way into the sea and devastating consequences for marine life and the habitats they depend on. Shipping, accidents, and oil spills add additional toxins to the mix. Now, this garbage patch is actually formed in between the North America and Asia. I would like to share each and every part of this Great Pacific Garbage Patch, which is being formed in number of gyres around the globe. So plastics are one of the biggest man-made pollutants in the marine environment, with an estimated 8 million tons of plastic waste finding its way into our oceans each year. The buildup of plastic litter, bottles and cups, plastics found in cigarette filters, straw, and other microplastics, those which are larger than 5 mm, in these urban coastal areas, washes out into the sea in heavy rain, polluting coastal waters and eventually drifting out to sea, where it breaks down into ever smaller pieces, eventually becoming a microplastic. So the harm caused by plastic pollution is wide-ranging. It chokes wildlife above and below the waterline. An estimate 1 million sea birds, near about 10 lakhs, and an unknown number of sea turtles die each year as a result of plastic debris, clogging their digestive tracts, and marine animals of all sorts can become tangled and incapacitated by discarded fishing lines and plastic bags. Fish and other marine life ingest microplastics, which in turn can find their way into the human food chains. Now, when we talk about the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, now this Great Pacific Garbage Patch which is present, it is exactly present in between Asia, and North America. It is a collection of marine debris in the North Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean, which is one of the largest and one of the deepest ocean, and the gyres which are there. These gyres are nothing but a large systems of rotating oceans which collect all the pollutants and allow them to come and be settled at one place. Also known as the Pacific trash vortex. Actually, it is a whirling mass of fluid and air due to the water currents, due to the fluid which is flowing from all the land surface. The carpet is actually two distinct collection of debris bounded by the massive North Pacific subtropical gyres. The marine debris which are there, they are the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, sits near the surface of the oceans. Dense debris can sink centimeters or even several meters beneath the surface, making the vortex area nearly impossible to measure. Sometimes you can see this as an island which is present in an ocean, and it is increasing day by day. The major problem for this is the microplastics. The most of the debris in the Great Pacific Patch is plastic. Plastic is not biodegradable, meaning it does not disintegrate. It simply breaks into tinier and tinier pieces, known as microplastic. The image shared by me can be seen. The person holding the microplastic in his hand, which is consumed by marine life. And these small plastic pieces also carry number of pollutants which are chemically bound. So microplastics of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch can simply make the water look like a cloudy soap. You even can't see that it looks like a pollutant in large amount, and the debris which are present, it consists of all this kind of microplastic. Now, the plastic debris which was culled means it was picked from this Great Pacific garbage, which consists of number of things. It is mixed with microplastic and the large pieces of plastic. Most plastics are refuse from land activities in North America and Asia. Some plastics are more accidentally dumped from ocean-going vessels, big ships, huge ships which are there. All the plastics on this page were culled from the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. You can see the toys, you can see the mask, you can see the pipettes, you can see the plastic phones and small things which are present in the, even you can see the plastic guns which are all collected from the oceans. Now your marine debris which is there actually, marine debris can prevent algae and planktons, mostly the zooplanktons and phytoplanktons. When we talk about the marine ecosystem strictly rely on phytoplanktons. And these phytoplanktons which are there carry out the process of photosynthesis by absorbing the radiant energy coming from the sunlight. As the radiant energy coming from the sunlight can't reach the phytoplanktons because of the marine debris which are present, the phytoplanktons in turn can't go with the manufacturing of their own food material, that is the carbohydrate. Now the food chain which is going on in the marine atmosphere or marine ecosystem is such that the phytoplanktons or the zooplanktons are fed on the phytoplankton, they are fed on the phytoplanktons. Small fishes are fed on the zooplanktons. Some big fishes are fed on these small fishes, and larger big fishes are fed on the some smaller big fishes. So this is a complete food chain which goes on from phytoplanktons to the large big fishes. But due to the development of these marine debris, the sunlight doesn't reach the marine phytoplanktons. As a result, the process of photosynthesis is completely stopped, and the producers which are there, that is the food web which is going on in the marine life or marine ecosystem. So the food web is completely stopped. As we can see the grassland ecosystem, the food web starts from grass to grasshopper, grasshopper to frog, frog to snake, and snake to hawk, and from hawk to decomposers. As there is no photosynthetic process going on in the marine life, sunlight due to this debris can't reach. When these tiny organisms are threatened, the entire food web is put at risk. First order consumers that eat the plankton, such as jellies. Second order consumers that eat the jellies, such as turtles, and the apex predators, such as sharks. So these are the complete food chain, going from producers to primary consumers to secondary consumers, from secondary consumers to tertiary consumers. All this food web is completely stopped, and the plants which are there, phytoplanktons which are there, they cannot produce the food. Coming up to our point is that the turtles which are there, okay, the fishing nets which are present, two are put in the danger by marine debris. Turtles can easily be entangled in discarded fishing nets or mistake the gelatinous texture of plastic for a jelly, which is actually their food. So you can see in the slide which I have shared that a turtle is completely tied up with the fishing net, and it has mistaken it by the gelatinous texture which can be seen here. The next most threat which is there, it is to albatross seabird. The marine debris of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch can devastate marine life in North Pacific subtropical Gaia. Actually, the subtropical Gaia, which is there, it has a hot and humid summer and cool winter. So the marine debris of this Pacific Garbage Patch can devastate the marine life in the North Pacific subtropical Gaia. You can see the stomach of albatross consisting of all plastic materials, and when it was dead, the persons who were environmentalists, they saw this bird complete full, the stomach was completely filled with the plastic, and they have collected all the plastic from this albatross seabird, and unfortunately the stomach contents of this unfortunate albatross includes plastic marine debris fed to the chick of its parents. So it is a very dangerous and very devastating things which are going for the marine life. So you can see the healthy albatross, large seabirds present in Southern Ocean as well as in the North Pacific Ocean. Okay. So next one which is there, I would like to say the seal. Okay, the next one which is in more danger. Perhaps one of the starkest impacts on the marine life is the phenomena of ghost fishing. Most large debris in the Great Pacific Garbage Patch is made up of inexpensive fishing nets. So ghost fishing happens when these discarded nets continue to catch marine life, suffocating marine mammals such as this endangered Hawaiian monk seal. So you can see the two scuba divers trying to free this seal from the fishing nets, which has been mistaken by the seal, and it has choked up his life. And this is one of the most devastating things which is happening in the marine life. Now you can see here the slide which I have shared on the screen, the Gaias which are formed around the globe. So there are near about 5 to 6 Gaias which are formed around the globes. So here on the screen you can see the 2 to 3 major Gaias. The first Gaia is in North America and Asia, known as Great Pacific Garbage Patch. The second is in Southern Ocean, that is in the Indian Ocean, which is coming in between the what we say that from Africa to Australia. And next one, the garbage patch is in Atlantic Ocean. So these are the 3 major Gaias formed by the wind tides and differences in the temperature and salinity drive in the ocean currents. So garbage patches are found in the calm, stable centers of many, what we say that smaller bodies of water such as Mediterranean and North Seas, and developing their own garbage patches along the heavy traffic shipping lanes. The next image I would like to share is the plastics which we have collected from the seabird, which I have just called albatross, the seabird. So this is the plastic. The environmentalists who were on the beaches to collect the plastic available there, they have removed some small pieces of the plastics which they have eaten. Okay, so it is a great matter of concern now. Yeah. So what is the connection between these pictures? So you can see the young seabird, albatross, and you can see the Great Pacific Patch, which is present in the red mark, and the waste which is thrown by the persons from going from one place to another place. Okay. So what kind of garbage? Mostly this garbage is plastic. The small plastic pieces, the small microplastic which is there. And this microplastic which is there, it is more dangerous than the larger plastic. So in further slides, I will show you the period of degradation. The biodegradable part is very less in that. Again, the same picture which I have shared before. You can see here, who cares? The thing which is there, it is very serious to point here is that who cares? Even in day-to-day life, when we see that the municipal corporation vehicle which comes to collect the waste material from our households. So a number of times we mix all the kind of what we say wet garbage with the what we say that with the dry one, with the wet one. Everything is being mixed, and we don't care about throwing the plastics anywhere. We don't care about using the plastic bottles. We don't care using the plastic bags. So we are everywhere we are going and seeing that there is a use of plastic in large amounts. And when we throw that plastic in municipal corporation trucks or vehicles, we don't care where this plastics is going there. So all these are being collected in huge trucks. These huge trucks are going to the ships, and these ships are going and dumping it into the oceans. So while using the plastic, while throwing the plastic bottles, while throwing the what we say that other plastic things, you should be very careful that all these are going to cause the atmospheric pollution. It is going to cause hazardous things for the oceans. So please make sure that we, being a responsible citizens, we should avoid such kind of things and make sure that we don't use plastic and we don't encourage using the plastic. So out in the ocean, thousands of miles from land, floats the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. So I already have shown you where this garbage patch is present. It's present in between the North America, and it is present between the Asia, also known as the Pacific Trash Vortex. A new atlas of the world oceans will soon point out the countries who are responsible. Now, I would not like to say you the countries which are responsible, but let me tell you that in last 10 years, the survey which has been carried out, the coastlines or the coastlines which we are talking about, there are mega cities which are located in the coastlines. So there are 20 mega cities which comprises of 10 million population. These 10 million population put pressure on infrastructure where urban waste and sewage management is very poor. And all this waste which is there, which comes from the urban population or urban waste and sewage management, the poor sewage management, and they are directly dumped into the oceans. So thousands of miles of, so a new atlas will come where you can see the presence of a new island present in the Pacific Ocean. Okay. So how it is formed, already have said you, Earth has 5 to 6 major oceanic gyres. I will share you one, what we said, the one slide where you can see the 5 to 6 major oceanic gyres, huge spirals of seawater formed by colliding currents. But one of the largest is North Pacific subtropical gyre, which I have said you. The upper part of this gyre near Hawaii is where water from Southern Ocean crashes, the Southern Pacific crashes to the cooler waters from the north. So from down it is coming, the cooler waters are coming in from the north, which is there. Hot and humid water, warm waters are coming in from the north, cooler waters are coming, and the gyre is being formed there. So already I have said the gyre is a large system of rotating ocean current. So this gyre, which is there, has given the two large masses of the ever accumulating trash known as the Western and Eastern Pacific garbage patches, collectively called the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Okay, so next one which is there, where does it all come from? So 80% land brought by sewer systems and rivers to the sea. So just I have told you, whatever the spills or whatever the litter, whatever the sewage we are discarding, or whatever the garbage is being dumped by our households or any hotels or by anything which we are giving out. So this is 80% of that is going into the sea. Okay, 80%. And 20% which is there, it is in the ships and the ocean sources like nets and fishing gears. Okay, so pollutants entering the oceans. So 5% is the industrial waste, 10% is the ocean or offshore oil, which is there. Then marine transportation, 10%, air pollutants, 20%. These are all entering into the ocean. Then sewage, we are having 30%. Then farm runoff, that is the 20%. So these are things which are directly entering, these are the pollutants which are entering in the oceans. So directly or indirectly, we are taking all these things into the oceans. So this is the thing which I was saying here, 5 to 6 gyres which are present, okay? And these gyres which are there, the major gyre which is there, it is in the Great Pacific Garbage of the Pacific Ocean, which is called, it is a two. In North America, it is called to be an East Pacific gyre, whereas towards the Asia, it is called to be an West Pacific gyre. And even towards the Atlantic Ocean, it is North Atlantic gyre. So you can see here number of gyres. In Pacific Ocean, if it is there, so Pacific is there, Atlantic is there, Indian Ocean is there, Southern Ocean is there, and Arctic Ocean is there. So these are the 5 different oceans which are there. In short form, we call it an ISA. Okay, so South Atlantic gyre is there, then Indian Ocean gyre is there, and then we have Southern Pacific gyre. So these are the gyres which are found, and all these are being dumped here. And no one goes and see here. I don't think that we have much of the ample of time to go and see where this garbage is going. But they are going and dumping there, they're going and dumping there, they're going and dumping there. And this is the naked truth that in the coming years, near about in the year 2050, we are going to face enormous number of problems for these particular things which we are doing now. So it's a big and it's growing. So as per the National Geographic, Pacific gyre contains 100 million tons of garbage. Imagine it is 100 million tons. You can't count it. So huge garbage it is. The patch is estimated to be around 2,200 kilometers. So it is far away from Delhi. Delhi is 1,000 kilometers from here. So we are going to Delhi and coming back to Aurangabad. So it is 2,200 kilometers, estimated to be around 2,200 kilometers long and 800 kilometers wide. So it is near about a complete big island which is being formed here due to this garbage. With trash up to 33 feet, means 10-meter garbage is that thick in some areas. Of 200 billion pounds of plastic produced annually, about 10% ends up in the ocean. See here, near about 200 billion pounds of plastic is produced annually. And out of 200 billion, near about 10% ends in the oceans. Each year, 70% of that actually sinks, damaging the life on the ocean floors. Okay, so you can see here in the next slide, the black patch, which I would like to show you. This is the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, which is formed between the North of America and the Asia. Okay, so hazards to marine life. Over 90% of plastic pollution is made up of microplastics, smaller than a what is called as a fringe fingernail. बहुत ही छोटा होता है, very small, smaller than the fingernail. This microplastic often absorb high toxic chemicals like DDT and PCB. United Nations Environment Program says plastic debris causes death of perhaps 1 lakh marine mammals every year. See the data. Means you can't imagine. We are living here. We can't see how many marine lives are being lost each year. According to Environment Program says that plastic debris causes near about death of perhaps 1 lakh marine mammals every year. Once ingested, these chemicals do not but build up into the body fat, and eventually it leads to death. So there are some images to share. This is the human who have caused these pollutions. These are the humans who have caused this pollution. You can see the plastic waste which is being present in the oceans or to the coastal areas. And the man which is there is trying to collect all this garbage from these coastal areas. He's trying to collect those which can be reused, it can be refurnished, it can be recollected. Okay, see here, a JCB is being used to collect all the waste which is present in the oceans. Okay, they are trying to collect this waste. There are a number of slides which we can see here. Okay, now estimated decomposition rates. This is one of the things which you need to look upon. So fishing lines. So fishing lines means the fishing nets which are being used to carry out the fishing. 600 years are required to get decomposed. Imagine 600 years. We live hardly 80 to 100 years or 70 to 80 years. Now the lifespan of the human beings has been reduced. So imagine the fishing lines which is going to decompose. It will require 600 years. Now disposable diaper. Now the diapers which are being we use for our children. So 500 years. Plastic bottles near about 450 years. Sorry. Then 6-pack rings, it is 400 years. Tin can, which we use for Coca-Cola or Pepsi bottles, which are there, it requires near about 50 years to decompose. Cigarette butt, the filters which we throw away by smoking, so it requires near about 2 to 5 years to get decomposed. Just imagine the rate of decomposition, at which they go with the decompositions. So 4 main sources: low density polythene, plastic bags, which is also a polypropyl bottle caps, then polyethylene terephthalate water bottles which are there, then expanded styrene which is there, styrofoam. These are the pollutants, main pollutants of the oceans. Then turtles in danger. Then just a minute. Okay, so you can see a plastic ring which is there. A tortoise eating the plastic. Then you can see the turtle, a plastic ring wrapped onto its body. So these are the number of things which are there. We can see here. Then next one, garbage cleanup at Lawrence Town Beach. Then you can see the garbage at the mostly it is to the countries which are present over the coastline. Okay, so what we know about the great garbage patches is that these are being formed and these are going and going and going and going. Means they are increasing day by day. They are increasing day by day. Okay. So fast facts about the Pacific garbage patch. More than 220 million tons of plastic are produced each year. Recent research has suggested that the amount of discarded plastic will outweigh the amount of fish in our oceans by 2050. This is underlying point. The recent research has suggested that the amount of discarded plastics will outweigh the amount of fish in our oceans by 2050. Okay, 60 to 90% of marine pollution is made up of different type of plastics. In 2006, United Nations Environment Program estimated that every square mile of ocean contains 46,000 pieces of floating plastic. A plastic bottle can last, already have said you, that it can last near about 460 years in the marine environment. Okay. So thank you very much. So this is one image which I would like to share. There is no life for wildlife. So they are trying to get rid of this world and move away from this. Okay. Thank you very much.
Any questions or query from the participants? Now I think there are no queries from the participants. Therefore, I now call upon Dr. Imtiaz Hussain Zahid, Department of Botany, Abida Inamdar Senior College, Pune. Imtiaz Hussain Zahid sir, to propose vote of thanks.
On behalf of Abida Inamdar Senior College, I, Dr. Imtiaz Hussain Zahid, sincerely thank Dr. Rafiq. Can you hear me, sir? आवाज आ रहा है? सुनाई दे रहा है?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
आवाज सुनाई दे रहा है, sir?
Yes, आवाज आ रही है. If it is possible, start the video.
Okay, thank you so much. I am very thankful to Dr. Mazhar Faruqi sir, ex-dean Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar University, principal Maulana Azad College, Rafiq Zakaria Campus, Aurangabad. Sir has enlightened very much on environment, which is a very burning issue of 21st century, having lot of challenges on biodiversity. He has well explained on plastic waste, how hazardous it is to human being, not only on land, but also on different ecosystem like terrestrial ecosystem, water ecosystem, and what you call marine ecosystem. I am very thankful to the convener, Professor Arif Pathan, Professor Syed Sultan, Program Coordinator of the lecture series. And I am also thankful to our President, Dr. P.A. Inamdar, for giving us opportunity to work in Azam campus. Thank you once again to Rafiuddin Nafir sir and all the colleagues, friends, students of Dr. Rafiq Zakaria campus, Aurangabad. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.